little streaming deal, and it's from Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's inside a big old building, and they got, I mean, geez, you wouldn't believe it, man. They got like 1,500 cars in this building.
What?
Yeah, it's like their fairgrounds or something, and man, there's trailers parked in here, and oh man, they got these little race cars, and the track is indoors. It's just amazing.
All indoor stuff, huh?
Yeah, I call it the Chili Bowl.
Oh, that ought to be something, man. You said Tulsa, huh?
Yep, in Tulsa.
Gotta Google that. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, these cars are running a motorcycle motor, like a 4-cylinder. I think it'd be like a 600 or something like that. Motorcycle motor in these cars. They got wings, non-wings. Oh my gosh! Then they got some that little kids race with like a Briggs and Stratton motor in them. And then next week will be the car motor, like a 4-cylinder motor.
Hey, don't let those little 4-cylinders fool you, man. Them boys can scat.
Break.
Go ahead there, Mr. Aaron.
Yeah, we are. We're live on the YouTubes.
Oh my gosh! I got to get another screen then.
Yeah, you can prop your phone up somewhere.
I got to get I got to get my iPad. There we go. All right, I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah, sorry to derail you, but want to slip that in there with the net starting in 4 minutes. SWL 52.
Thanks for doing the live there, Aaron, and good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, that way we can talk smack about Ron in the chat.
Copy that.
Yeah, we can't be as fancy as OTR, but we'll try to half-ass it.
That is pretty fancy. I always watch it.
Yeah, I don't even have a camera hooked up to this computer, so and you guys don't want to look at my mug anyways.
We got it on.
And you got 2 minutes to spare.
It's pretty good.
Yep, 2 minutes to go, guys.
Yeah, I just got to figure out a way to unmute my microphone at the same time that I press the PTT button.
Bowens, you out here?
Yes, sirree.
It's 102. Make sure you get me in there.
Okay, Phil, we'll get you. I do, but I think it only plugs into a Yaesu.
Yeah, I got a couple radios here.
All right. Oh, shoot. That is the alarm. All right. Well, good evening. This is Bone 775, and this here is Essential Cal Ditchbank Sideband Net, and you could look that up, Essential Cal Ditchbank Sideband Net, because it's on YouTube right now, so it is on. So you guys might want to check that out. And, all right, well, anyway, we meet here every Friday night, 8 o'clock on 36 Lower Sideband. And I got a list of previous check-ins I go off of, and kind of like to get it started out with a big old Happy New Year 2025. Yay. And hope Christmas is good and didn't get into too much trouble for New Year's. And with that, we'll see if we got anybody who needs an early check-in.
Good evening, Ron. Can I please have an early check-in?
Fishing girl with an early check-in. All right, we got you.
Thank you, Ron. Have a good evening.
All right, you too. Any more early check-ins? The legend, Bob Belair with an early check-in. All right, Bob, we got you. All right, any more early check-ins?
310 Tony in Corsico, please.
Hey, 310 Tony in Corsico. Good to hear you, Tony, and we'll get you in there early.
All right, Happy New Year, everybody.
All right, Happy New Year. Any more? Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Can't even talk. Any more early check-ins? All right, no more check-ins, no more early check-ins. All right, we'll go ahead and get it started with 33 James.
Hey, good evening, Ron, and everybody else on the net. Happy New Year to you. 33 checking in.
All right, Happy New Year to you too. And let's see here, we'll go down the line here. How about 363 Stub Jumper?
Hey, good evening, Ron. 363 checking in.
All right, Stump Jumper, you got an X in the square. Thanks for checking in. I'm watching a fight now. Ooh, gonna have a fight. Race car driver's gonna get a fight here. All right, how about 458 Mule Skidder? 1233 Daryl, Big D.
31 X-ray 1233 checking in.
All right, Daryl, X in the square for you. How about 767 Pat?
Good evening, Ron. 767 in the Rancho. No traffic. Happy New Year.
All right, Pat. Good to hear you out there. How about 761 Mark? Nine 7-9 Sean. Let's see, what we got? 151 Chris. All right, Chris, good to hear you out there, and thanks for checking in, man. You do a damn good job. I don't think you ever have missed it. So, yep, big ol' X on the square for you. And 213 Jeremy out of Tennessee. Got a text from him the other day. Give him a proxy. How about 920 Dennis out of Midtown? And a proxy for Dennis. And how about 982 Dirt Dog? If not, I think he was out there hollering earlier. All right, we'll get him and Sean in there early. I think Joe said that they were out there, one of them or something. How about 305 David out of Sanger?
305 David out of Sanger checking in. Have a good evening.
All right, David, take care. Have a good evening and Happy New Year. How about 109 Crawdad?
Proxy.
We will proxy the Crawdad in. How about 142 KP? 112 Rickishaw.
112 Rickshaw checking in.
All right, Wayne. Good to hear you out there. X in the square for you.
Thank you, Ron.
I'm watching one of your favorite drivers out there, that Kyle Larson. He's running one of those, he's running several classes back there at the Chili Bowl. So, anyway, he's doing pretty good. All right, Wayne, X in the square. How about 339 Jeff? 321 Jerry. How about 54 Dean, Copenhagen Kid? 449ers, Smitty and Sweet Country Mama. $360 Ray. Alright, we got Tony, 310, we got 53 Bob Belair, and 111 Bob. How about 603 Joe?
Thanks, Ron. 603 out of Fresno, Cal, checking in.
Alright, Joe, out of Fresno, Cal, you are checked in with a big old black bold X in the square.
Thanks, Ron.
Alright, how about number 7, Ed?
Oh, good evening to one and all. This is number 7 checking in.
All right, Ed. Good to hear you out there. An X in the square for you.
Thank you.
How about Captain 00 Harold? $19.19 Tom out of Visalia. $43 Eric. How about 633 Eric, Carolina Kid? Well, how about Miss Tony, 1234 out of Core School?
Good evening, Ronnie. This is 31 X-Ray 1234 checking in.
All right, good to hear you out there. Next in the square for you.
Thank you, and you have a wonderful weekend.
Well, I'll be working, but not Sunday, just tomorrow.
Oh, no.
All right, don't forget now, they're streaming. Adam, Aaron. Oh my gosh, I'm going to go through all these names here. I guess I'm tired. Aaron, SWL 52 has a Central Cal Ditchbank Sideband net on YouTube there. So you can look up that, and it's on YouTube. And, gosh, we got 3 likes, and only Aaron has commented. All right. Now, let's find my spot again. Oh, there we are. Top of that page. How about 1017 Dennis? Tower Power.
Give him a proxy, Ron.
We will give him a proxy. Let's see, we got 650, 650 and a half in there early. How about 188 Snow Beach Street?
Even the time, Ron, 188 checking in.
All right, Bobby, good to hear you out there, man. Thanks for stopping by. And let's see, Phil came in there early. 102, Phil, you still there? All right, we got Phil in there early. How about 785, Larry? How about Big G out of Easton? How about M&M up the hill? How about 241, Chris?
Give him a proxy, Ron.
All right, we'll get him in there. Well, you talked to him earlier, you said, so we'll give him an early check-in. How about 223, Chris? How about 151, Jerry?
Give him a proxy.
And a proxy for Jerry. And let's see, we flipped the page over to the last page. How about 869, Lee out of Orange Cove? And 308, Mr. Rogers, he's still out there? I believe Mr. Rogers is looking for a frequency counter to use. So if anybody, here's Mr. Rogers out there and has a frequency counter he could borrow, he would sure appreciate it. And let's see, how about US Renegade 261, Tracy? How about Skywinder, Adam out of Madera? And we got Fishing Girl in there early. How about SWL 20, Harvey? And SWL 52, Aaron.
Wow. Yeah, that didn't take you very long to get to me. You must have pruned the list a little bit. SWL 52 behind the golden microphone and live out to the internet.
Right on. Oh, Dennis did come there. All right. Well, hey, thanks for doing that, and I appreciate that. I'm sure everybody else does too that's wanting to listen in on that. All right. Oh, I got one more. 31 Delta 87 Cliff. All right, no Cliff. Are there any late or missed members?
920.
920. And we are flip over to that front page where we have Mr. Dennis out of Midtown. I guess I don't know, it's a pretty big word for me. Proprietor of the old tube radio net on channel 11. Saturday night at 8 o'clock, and that's on the AM side, so you have to flip it over to AM for that one.
Yeah, one of the many interesting things you can do on your two-way radio. Anyway, looks like I'm not quite tuned up for this frequency, but I managed to get in the air during time to get checked in.
Yes, indeed you did. And on the live chat for the YouTube Ditchbank Sideband net.
That's right. I'm trying to tax the bandwidth of the net receiver. Anyway, you're sounding good. The frequency is quiet. And we'll go back to the net. Thanks for picking me up.
All right. But I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to have some skip tomorrow, I think. I think the DX is going to come in because when I first came out here at 7:30, the boys from Down Under were out there, so I'm thinking you're going to have some activity tomorrow, just because it's Saturday night.
It's Saturday night. It's Channel 11, and let's see, it's getting later, earlier. The sun's changing, and like you said, that's what happens. So we'll see. But plus the A and K indexes are going back to normal. So all right, we've done it before.
I know you'll get through it. All right, Dennis. Thanks.
Yeah, it sounded nice and loud up here tonight.
How did that happen?
Got a good copy on you in Coastal, Dennis, about a 5. That's unusual. I only get you that way on 10 meters usually.
Yeah, you're well over my staticky noise down here in the Midtown Mud section.
Just had to let you know you're sounding good.
Okay, it's always nice to be wall to wall, as they say. All right, thanks, Ron, and hello to all the listeners.
All right, are there any other late or missed members visiting stations? Well, all right, we'll just close down the net at 8:15 p.m., and thanks everybody who participated in tonight's Sideband net, and hope to catch y'all next week, or we'll catch you out there tomorrow night. Listen in on them old tube radios, and maybe even fire one up. So 7-3s, everybody. No problem.
I think you're getting a little running. Probably time to hit the rack, huh?
Yeah, I think so. But I don't have to get up till I can get up at 4:30 and be there at 5, because I already got my truck and trailer all hooked up, loaded up, and I'm gonna go straight to Lost Hills. Go play in the mud out there. Hopefully it'll be daylight when I get there.
You working Saturday again?
Yeah, I'm feeling it, man. These 3 Saturdays in a row, they sucked. I hate it, man. Anyway, well, the garage door is going to be opening. Maybe she's seen the antenna glowing down the road, so she might have pulled over and stopped and waited till I get off the radio. But anyway, the wife just pulled in, and I am going to go to bed. I'm sorry, I can't hang out. But everybody take care, and we'll catch you when we catch you. 7-3.
Good night, Ron. You never know. I may catch you in the early a.m.
All right, Ron, we'll catch you later.
What's going on, Aaron? How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. It's a little wet down here.
Well, it quit, but it was raining here.
Yeah, of course, I had to go to like 2 different stores to get new windshield wipers for my wife's car, and I get out of Walmart and the rain stops, and I have brand new wipers in my hands.
Well, excuse me, that's always the way it is, yeah.
Well, yeah, so I want to yell at whoever manages inventory at Costco, because they are always, and I mean always, out of the 22-inch wipers. And what does every stinking SUV need on at least one side of the windshield? A 22-inch.
Yeah. It must be one of them minivans.
Yeah, my wife's car is a Honda Odyssey, so it's got a 26 on one side and a 22 on the other. My car is like I can't remember what it was. So I bought mine I bought ones for my car at Costco because they had them.
Well, and anyway, well, you probably don't know, but I recently acquired a Kenwood cheesecake
71808. I'm told it was an obsolete fire radio, but I don't know. Doesn't look like a fire radio to me.
Give me that model number again.
It is TK-71808.
Okay, so it's like a land mobile radio. Interesting. Yeah, VHF, UHF, FM, mobile.
Yeah, that's what it is. And it's definitely military spec. It's all heat sink.
Yeah, and it covers really weird bands. It does 38 megahertz on VHF and then 70 megahertz on UHF. So it's not even a normal, like, dual band, which means it's not useful for you.
Oh, nuts. I was hoping, because it says VHF right on it.
Yeah, but it looks like it covers commercial bands and not even the good commercial bands. That's nowhere. Well, it's covering below 6 meters and then at the very, very bottom edge of UHF. That's very odd.
Well, like I said, I was told it was an obsolete fire radio.
Yeah, and you probably would have a hell of a time getting the thing reprogrammed anyways.
Yeah. Oh, well, I looked at it and I said, damn, that looks like it's, a ham mobile. And it does. It looks like one, but it isn't.
Yeah, I mean, you might have to do some more research on it, but that's probably not modifiable. I mean, you might be able to coax it into 6 meters, but it's nowhere near. Yeah, actually, well, it's saying UHF 70. Wait, I'm forgetting. 70 megahertz isn't UHF. They're calling 70 megahertz UHF. That's wrong. Yeah, UHF doesn't start till 300 meg.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, that's wrong. Must have been a typo of what you were looking at.
I'm actually on Kenwood's website. Oh, okay. There's 2 different versions. Oh, okay. Well, this changes things. So you got the 8180.
Wait a minute. Turn it back over again. Okay, yeah, it says TK-718, and then there's an 08 on the end of that.
Oh, okay. So you have the dual band version. Okay, so now that I'm looking at the specs, whatever was on that other website, that other page was completely wrong. I'm actually on the Kenwood website right now. So it will do 136 to 174 on VHF, which would cover 2 meters. And then it will do 400 to 470 on UHF, which will cover 70 centimeters. So, yeah, if you can figure out how to get that thing reprogrammed, it would work on the ham bands.
Okay, well, now, according to the sticker I'm looking at, this is a VHF only, no UHF.
Okay, yeah, because it looks like frequency range, they have like a type 1 and a type 2. So, yeah, if it's VHF only, then it's 136 to 174, and 2 meters is like smack dab in the middle of that.
Well, I know who to talk to first, Adam.
Yes, sir. Oh, that's what they were saying. Okay, so on the first page, they're saying how wide-banded it is. That's why it was confusing. So on UHF, it has 70 megahertz of bandwidth, and on VHF, it has 38 megahertz of bandwidth. But then when you go on the specs, they actually show you the actual frequencies. Okay, so the website's not wrong. I was just misinterpreting it. So yeah, talk to Adam.
Might be able to walk into. I always forget the name of that place. The radio place in Fresno, where Adam goes.
What, Cook's Communication?
No, not Cook. The other one.
Yeah, I'm forgetting the name off the, but yeah. It looks like it's a 30 watt radio.
Well, I'll tell you what, it sure looks like it's built to, I mean, I think it was in a bulldozer, honestly. It sure looks like it was built to take it. Well, that wouldn't be a bad, 30 watts, VHF, mobile. If it could just be plugged in and somebody could just plug the ham bands into it, I'd be satisfied. I don't know if it has to be programmed strictly by computer. It probably does.
Yeah, no, it probably needs to be programmed with a computer. Most of those commercial radios don't have front panel programming, and yeah, based off of that heat sink and being a 30 watt radio, it probably could do 30 watts continuous. It probably won't melt. Let's see. It's got 512 channels. I'm looking through. Some of these other features wouldn't be useful for you. But yeah, as long as it does, like PL tones and stuff like that, then should be fine.
Well, it's bound to do PL tones because if it was a fire radio, it needed PL tones.
Yep, sub-audible tones and digital coded tones are also, DTMF is supported. Yeah, interesting.
Well, the bracket was here, the night's with it, it's all here. I haven't, hooked any power to it to see if it lights up, but I have no reason to think it won't. Although I shouldn't say that. But, all right, well, cool. Oh, and it came with, get this, a glass mount antenna.
Was there somebody in there trying to check in? Yeah, you are late. Ron had to call it an early night because he's got to go to work tomorrow because New Year's Day kind of screwed them up at work. Yep, no worries. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I'm looking to see what type of programming cable that thing works. Oh, you could hook it up to a horn/public address relay unit. That's exciting. You could get yourself a PA speaker.
Well, I've got several of those laying around. I don't know if you heard me. There's a glass mount antenna. Like they used with the cell phones for years. But it says it's 150 to 174 meg.
Yeah, which would be higher than you need.
Yeah, but that's okay. You never know; it might dial down.
Typically, it's easier to go up in frequency than down, because going up in frequency just requires the antenna to be physically shorter, and so sometimes you could just trim it. But going the other direction's a little bit more complicated.
Well, like I said, it's one of those antennas that has there's a, I guess the coil, the coil is spaced a certain amount probably for the proper frequency track.
Yeah, and glass mount antennas are questionable. I had one once on my 4Runner, and it never worked really well.
Well, I just, it was in there, and I just thought it was interesting. Maybe we'll put a scanner up to it or something.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, good deal. Hey, you're getting too many radios to play with up there.
Oh, I need more radios like I need a hole in the head. I got literally piles of old CDs that I got to see something with. I can't bear to just put them in the dumpster.
Well, yeah, depending on how old they are, don't do that. Somebody might want them. But, yeah, well, and I just made an expensive purchase. I have a 222 megahertz transverter on the way. It should be here Tuesday. So it's, you know, it's just basically like buying another radio, but of course it isn't a radio in of itself. You have to plug it into another radio for it to be usable.
I know, that's what, and it's just for that one band, right?
Yeah, no, it's like $750 for 50 watts on 222, and yep, it's just for that band, and I'm mainly going to be using it for Sideband, so it's going to get used on Monday nights and for the VHF UHF contests, and the rest of the time I probably won't hear anybody on there.
Well, so you don't have to use it on Sideband. I intend to get a handheld that has 220 in it for no other reason. They'd be able to get it in the Condor. Yeah,
I will probably figure out. Well, actually, I've already kind of figured it out. I should theoretically be able to use it to get into Condor. So the fun thing about transverters is I have to drive it with my 10 meter radio. So that means I can transmit from 28 megahertz up to, well, of course my radio's unlocked. So technically I could take it up to 30 megahertz if I wanted to. So that's only 2 megahertz. The 222 band is 3 megahertz wide. So technically I can't transmit on the top megahertz of the band, but fortunately all the repeater inputs are on the low part of the band and the outputs are on the upper part of the band. So I've already kind of figured out the math, and for the Condor system I can transmit in the 10 meter band, but then I have to listen above 30 megahertz to be able to hear it through the transverter. So I'm hoping that's going to work, but you know, we'll see what happens.
Oh boy. Huh. You know, I can remember, of course, this is, 22 years ago, but my couple of guys I knew in Napa, they were small 220 mobiles, and they worked the repeaters just fine. And that was over 22 years ago. You mean to tell me you can't find something like that anymore?
Well, see, because I'm remotely operating the radios, there's nothing available for 220 that I can remote easily. So it's easier to use the transverter and then just continue to use the radios that I can remote control.
Okay, well, I get it then. Yeah, that makes sense. I can see that.
Yeah, you got to remember my setup is non-standard. It's one of the things that's kept me from getting, like putting a 900 megahertz radio up or getting a GMRS radio, because none of that stuff is easily remotable.
Well, speaking purely as a guy that likes to have a stack of radios in front of him, you may, come to the place where you don't want to do that anymore.
Oh, no, that's happening if we move. It's just that in this current house, with the way the roof is configured, because I'm in our master bedroom, and we have a vaulted ceiling in here, and getting coax to my desk would be really obnoxious, and I'd have a bunch of black coax, hanging down like 8 feet from the ceiling. There's no good way to hide it. So that's why I ran everything into the closet. But yeah, no, if we move out of California, I'm putting the radios back on the desk.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, I've got a vaulted ceiling in my room too, and I figured out I can sneak some speaker wires down the main beam that goes down the middle of the room on one side, but it's not like you couldn't look for them, see them if you were looking for them.
Yeah, and it's not like my desk is sitting on an outside wall either. I'm on an inside wall, and it's vaulted, and yeah, it's just and I have 8 antennas up there, so I got 7 runs of Elmar 400 and a run of Elmar 600 coming into the closet. That would just be unsightly if it was coming down to my desk, and my desk isn't that big either. That's the other thing. It's an okay sized desk. I just wouldn't have any room for any of the radios. Okay, so I was looking at my my configuration here, and yeah, so I have to for Condor, the listening frequency is 30.9, so 30 megahertz 0.9. So I have to listen above 30 megahertz for Condor, and then I transmit 1.6 down. So hold on, I got to do that math here real quick. So yeah, 30.9 minus 1.6. So yeah, so I transmit at 29.3, which is in the 10 meter band on my 10 meter rig. But then I have to listen above 10 meters. So that part's going to be fun for Condor. We'll see how it works.
That's the only way the transverter's going to work?
Well, the transmitter, the transverter maps 222 to 28 megahertz, and so from there you can do the the conversion. So 222 becomes 28. That's 194 megahertz. So any 222 frequency you have to subtract 194, and that's where it's going to land on the 10 meter rig.
Oh, okay, now I get it. Not ideal, is it?
Yeah, so Condor is 30.9. Yeah, so Condor is 224.9. And if you subtract 194 from that, you end up with 30.9.
Okay, I got you. You know, I've got a 2950. That'll go, you know, it'll go above into that 30 megahertz.
Yeah, well, this radio should too, because the 7300 in other markets goes all the way up to the 4 meter band. So if I remember right, the 7300 will do, you know, it goes all the way down to 160 meters, and it goes all the way up to 6 meters and 4 meters. So I think I can receive on this rig all the way up to 74, 75. Like I could listen to the CHP band if I had an antenna for it.
Okay. Oh, that'd be cool. All right. Well, I'll be curious to see how you like that thing. I know that they're in use here and there, but you don't hear a lot about them.
Well, it's because most of us are running. Most of the people running transverters are just using them for sideband, so we'll see. But yeah, so the 7300 will receive all the way up to 74.8. So listening at 30 megahertz shouldn't be a problem. And as I said, the radio's unlocked, so technically I could open up the transmitter to 30 meg if I needed that extra bit of room, but I should be fine. The call frequency is 223.5, which is fine, because that translates to 29.5, which is within the 10 meter band. So, and that should be the highest that I have to transmit. Is the 223.5 to get to the FM calling frequency. That should be the highest frequency I'll have to transmit on. Everything above that is a repeater output.
Okay. Oh, well, then good. And, of course, that's going to put you on the bozo net, too.
Yes. Yeah, that's easy. Yeah, the bozo net is literally 28.100 because the sideband calling frequency is 222.100, so that's way down at the bottom of the band.
Do you just pack the antenna cables through the transverter? Is that all?
Yeah, pretty much. So the antenna goes straight to the output of the transverter, and that's all the 220. Yeah, that's the 222 megahertz side, and then on the other side it pops out 10 meters, and I run that down to my HF rig, and what I'm going to try, and this should work fine. So right now I'm talking through my tuner in bypass, but my tuner has a second antenna port. And so I'm going to hook the transverter up to the second antenna port, and I have the second port set up to also be in bypass most of the time. Well, actually, that port 2 is going to be in bypass all the time. So the nice thing is, so when I want to get on 220, I just have to flip the transverter on and then hit the antenna 2 button on the tuner, and then I should be good to go.
Well, it sounds like it's got to be simple enough if it works.
Yeah. So that'll be the fun part. Yeah, and then you just got to turn your power down. So transverter I ordered will do anywhere from 1 watt to 10 watts. And then that should produce 50 watts on the other end. So I just have to make sure that I'm not up at 100 watts when I go to transmit on the transverter, or it's it's got a protection circuit on it, but it'll probably piss something off.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, and that's I haven't tried. I've got a Mirage M200 HF amp sitting up here, and I accidentally set 100 watts into it, and I smelled a little something, and I've been afraid to try it. Am I too late?
Yes, you are too late.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, Ron had to go to bed early because he's got to work tomorrow because New Year's Day screwed him up.
That screwed me up, too. All right, hey, thank you anyway. 241, Chris. We're clear then.
All righty, Chris. Have a good evening.
All right, you take it easy up there. Well, the whole thing sounds very interesting. I'll be curious. And even getting a handheld with 220, that'll just get me into FM. That's not gonna get me sideband.
Yeah, and that's what I currently have hooked up to that antenna. I have a 220 handheld that I got hooked up to it, and I've been monitoring the Condor system. And even though I'm horizontal, it's been working fine for the repeaters.
I figured that. You know what? I haven't even tried to put any repeaters. I keep forgetting I can do that with this 991. I haven't even tried to do it yet.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything programmed into this radio, but of course this radio only does HF.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, I'm still getting used to this thing. It does a whole lot of stuff.
Oh, we like stuff. Yeah, that's what all the fun features are. So the other thing is all the old 222 radios that can do sideband don't have spectrum scopes. So by using the transverter, I still have access to the spectrum scope and all the nice filters and all those other features on the 7300.
Oh yeah, I definitely can see the advantage in that. And if you don't got a spectrum scope, how about spinning the dial?
Yeah, but it's really nice having a spectrum scope. Yeah, and then during my normal operations, the transverter will just come off the 7300 on 10 meters. And then during the contests, I'm going to run coax and a control cable out to my 705, and I will put 220 on the 705 because the 705 is a 10-watt QRP rig, which is more than enough that I need to run the transverter. So during the contests, I'll have a dedicated 220 radio. So that way, the 7300 will be dedicated to 6 meters. The 705 will handle 220, and then the 9700 will do 2 meter, 70 centimeter, and 1.2 gig. So that kind of covers my bases. And then I also hook I'll hook a diplexer up to the 705, so that way I can run 10 meters to the transverter, and then 2 meter 440 will go to my vertical for FM. So I gotta cover all my bases. I need to be on sideband, but then I also have to be able to work people on on like 5.2 simplex off my vertical. So so I'll be running the contests with three radios and the transverter.
busy.
Oh, yeah, and the contest is coming up on the 18th, so hopefully you're around.
Oh, I'll be around. I don't know that I'll be able to participate. I'm sure I could come, but I'll be interested to see how you do.
Oh, I'll take points from you, man. All I need is your call sign and your grid square.
Okay, well, you tell me where and on how many bands do you want to do it on, and I'll go everywhere I can.
Oh yeah, no, I'll be all over the place. When John's at home, we work each other on like 6 bands. It's pretty funny.
Well, let's see. Well, I have no UHF antenna right now, so that's a problem. But other than that, and I don't have 220, of course, but everything else.
Yeah, I'll take you on 6 and 2, which I think is the only bands you'd be able to work me on. Yeah, I was pretty happy when Ron bought that 9700 because then it means I have somebody over in another grid square that I can work on 1.2 gig because he's over in Charlie Mike 97 or 96 or whatever the heck he's in. So that's more points.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess it would be, wouldn't it? Yeah, even though the distance isn't that far.
Yeah, because Ron's like 6 miles from me, and the line between the grid squares is between us. It's like 3 miles west of here, 3 or 4 miles west of here, and Ron is on the other side.
Hey, worth more points. That's all that matters.
Yeah, so then and then we got you guys are up in DMO7, which is useful. The annoying part is Visalia. Visalia is in the same grid square as Fresno, so any of the guys that work down there most of the time don't count for extra, multipliers.
Oh, that stinks. Yeah, I didn't realize. I've got a grid map laying here. I guess I could look at it.
Yeah, you got to get down to Bakersfield before you get to DMO5.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, this map. This is a WAS map. They are, this isn't as detailed as what you're talking about.
Well, you talk to the guys that do roving, and they'll go out to the 4 corners of like 4 grid squares, and then they'll all work each other in the 4 different grids and make a ton of points.
Well, yeah, nothing says you can't.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, and then they they might let other people work them, but I've seen closed groups of rovers, and they'll come up through the Central Valley and hit all the grid points and then leave before they even try to work other people. It's kind of annoying. The last couple of years though, man, we haven't had as many rovers as we used to.
Yeah, well. Nothing else. It's gas.
Yeah, I gotta figure out at some point how to get the keys to Bear Mountain. I'll go operate portable up at Bear. That's what Pat used to do.
How many gates?
I don't know, but we'll find out.
I used to know somebody that knew how to get up on top of Deadwood, but it's something like 6 or 7 gates.
Yeah, well, I know Ken has access to Bear Mountain, along with stuff up on Meadow. But yeah, so if I really wanted to, I could probably. Well, I'm sure there's a gate up there with like 10 different locks on it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, all you need to do is be able to get up to that gate. Yeah, nobody knows who all's got a padlock on there anyway.
You almost always PG&E is going to have a key, and then, anybody that owns property or has a transmitter, and, I'm sure CAL FIRE's got a key, and, a couple other, state agencies.
When I was a kid, my dad was a cop, and he got a hold of a ring of keys somewhere that we went anywhere in the county. Anywhere there was a gate, we went up to water towers and all kinds of places that the public couldn't go.
Yeah, I had a buddy who used to work for, it was either like Fish and Game or like the Forest Service, but whatever. Yeah, he had a bunch of keys, and he's like, oh, that gate's closed? Yeah, that's not a problem.
Well, Aaron, it was good talking to you. Thanks for the information on this radio. I think it's worth a little further investigation. Somebody that actually knows.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I'll be curious to find out about that. Yeah, there's a lot of commercial stuff out there that can be, coerced into our bands. We actually have some pretty prime real estate when it comes to 2 meters. There's a lot of people that I'm sure would love to have that 4 megahertz of spectrum that we have.
Oh, yeah, but they're always trying to figure out ways to take it too.
Yeah, I know the most recent band that we had mucked with was we had like a 3.2 gigahertz band. It wasn't used very much, and I think they nuked that one, but that wasn't that big of a loss. And of course, we can all complain about the lower part of 220 being taken away.
Yeah, that was a while back, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it UPS wanted it. And then by the time the FCC cleared it out for them to use it, they moved on to other technology and never actually used it.
Oh, is that how that worked? Oh, brother.
Yeah, UPS petitioned the FCC for spectrum because they wanted that's the frequencies that they wanted to their tracking pads, which of course are now all cellular based, but back in the day when they were rolling out their tracking pads, they wanted to be able to wirelessly communicate with them, and they were going to build their own network in the 220 spectrum, and they went crying to the FCC saying, we need spectrum, and they took it from us.
Funny thing about the government, once they take something, you never get it back.
Oh, no, and we don't use that band enough to warrant taking it back. It's annoying, but I can see the arguments against us trying to get it back.
Oh yeah, sure. All right, brother. Well, we'll talk to you soon, I'm sure. And yeah, the bomb is still early.
Yeah, sometimes Ron and I are on here till like 10 o'clock, and I got to go find something else to do. Well, we'll catch you later, and I'm going to probably shut down the stream here, and I don't know, I'll go see what the boys are doing over on DMR. So we'll catch you later, SWL 52.
See ya, Royal 30.
Alrighty, good night to the lovely people on YouTube.